Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Legion by the Numbers. I'm Joe Eames, and in this episode, we're going to be looking at snipers, and we're going to do something different we haven't done before yet on the channel. We're going to actually compare the different snipers of the different factions to see which sniper is best. So we're not going to do a deep dive into just one unit or a comparison of two units. So I put together this Excel spreadsheet, and we are going to fill this Excel spreadsheet out. We're going to go through, I've outlined each of the sniper units here, and we'll kind of talk about each one and how they're outfitted and some interesting things when we get down to the Empire. But we're going to talk about how much damage they do versus a red heavy, how efficient they are based on points, and then talk about a little bit of the other things that make a sniper unit a good idea or a bad idea versus each other. I'm only going to go against red save units in heavy cover for the damage numbers, because that's a pretty reasonable assumption that you're trying to protect your red your units. So they're probably going to be in heavy cover. They could be in light, but probably in heavy cover, and that's what you're shooting at because they know there's a sniper out. They know you're in range, and also most of the time you want to have your sniper shooting at the highest value targets they can, which is probably unit leaders, your commanders, that sort of thing. So oftentimes they're going to be red saves. Not always. A really good thing to do with your snipers is to finish off the unit leader of some unit that could be a white save or a white surge to defend save. So we won't look at all the numbers because we have so many units to look through. It's going to take plenty of time just to go through and put this all together as it stands. We'll just use red and just understand that if it was a white with a surge to defend, or even something like a B1, if you're trying to finish off that last B1, the damage will be a little bit better. But we're going to look at the damage and the efficiency of each unit to try to come up with an idea of which faction actually has the best snipers. So let's go through and look at each of the snipers and how we might outfit them. So back over here to Tabletop Admiral. I don't want to start yet with Empire. We're going to actually start over with clones. So here are the clones. I've got two options for the clones. One is Echo and one is the DC-15. So the DC-15 X ARC Trooper is a great sniper unit, a red and a black. The clones already have Sharpshooter 1. They have Tactical 1, so they can move. It's the same as aiming. A really great sniper unit. Obviously, we're only looking at range 5 units or longer. A couple of them are unlimited range. They have lethal 1, so a great unit to snipe with. But Echo, obviously even superior to red instead, with reliable 1, critical 1, and lethal 1. 2 hit points instead, so a lot better even than the DC-15X. Of course, he's more points. You can see that 69 points to outfit with Echo instead of the ARC Troopers. Now, we're going to outfit these with your typical how you would typically outfit them. And I think Hunter is probably a pretty reasonable training slot to give them, so they have that extra, especially with lethal, to make sure that you have the aim tokens. And same thing over here on the ARC Troopers. So this is how we're going to go with the two different two different setups for the ARC Troopers. So let's go ahead and walk through those and get those numbers put together. So we'll start with the DC-15X, which is our 64 point trooper. So DC-15X is 64 points. And we saw that he is a red and a black. 1 red, 1 black. He has Sharpshooter 1. And that comes from the ARC Troopers. Between Tactical and Hunter, depending on what you're shooting at, you're probably going to have an aim token. No surges or anything like that. So that's not going to help. But we did give him Hunter. You might... there aren't really a lot of gear options that are... There's gear to get him in a position, like jetpacks, but the targeting scopes aren't going to do any good because it lets you re-roll 3 instead of 2, but he only has 2 dice. So we won't worry about that. But lethal 1... So the aim is probably going to you're probably going to have 1 aim and maybe 2 because of Tactical. So we'll kind of look at the 2 different scenarios and pick one of those. But pretty much for sure you're going to have Pierce 1 and possibly Pierce 2, or an aim and Pierce 1. So we're going to go against red, heavy cover, no surge to block, and we'll go ahead and see what the DC 15X does. So this is kind of interesting. This may or may not have surprised you, but you're looking at half a damage point against red and heavy cover. There's about a 50-50 chance you're going to do a damage and a 50% chance that you won't with Pierce 1. Now let's add the aim. Let's switch this off. Let's say that you use your aim to actually reroll dice instead. Worse numbers, not better. But if you have the 2 aim tokens, maybe one goes to an aim, one goes to Pierce. Now you go to 0.78. So having those 2 aim tokens makes a big difference. What if you use that last aim token to give yourself Pierce 2 instead of Pierce 1, and it's an aim? It doesn't get any better. So the best he can do is the 2 aims and 0.78, which is also 82 points per hit with a 25% miss rate. So for the DC 15X, that gives us a 0.78. And for points per damage, that's 82.5 points per damage. And as a couple of notes, needs to aim, but with Hunter, there's a pretty good chance you're going to have your 2 aim tokens. Can take jetpacks, makes them a little bit more expensive. So they do have some maneuverability that not all the snipers have. So that's a couple of good notes to have on the DC 15. Now let's go over and look at Echo. Echo is different than the DC 15X because he's 2 red, and he has Reliable 1, which is going to give him a surge. So we're going to switch that black to a red. He's going to have a surge token available to him. He has critical 1. He still has the same lethal 1. Other than that, he's completely identical, but the points are different. So let's go with the critical 1. Same thing, we'll start with just 1 Pierce, assuming, and we'll look at the different scenarios there for him. But he is 75 points instead of 64. So quite a few more points. And it's not always a matter of, do you want to spend more points? Sometimes the efficiency really matters to you here. Let's go ahead and roll that red, no surge to block, heavy cover. And he already starts out with 0.86, and that's without that second aim. So already a pretty big difference. But notice that the efficiency is actually lower. Now that's without the second aim. So let's give him that second aim. We'll try this one way. We'll try this with an aim instead of the Pierce and see what that does. That makes it worse. Okay. With the aim and the Pierce, gets all the way up to 1. And then with 2 Pierce, we'll use both those aim tokens. This Pierce doesn't get any better. So his best scenario is 2 aim tokens, 1 used to aim, 1 used on Pierce, giving him essentially 1 damage on average and only a 4% chance to miss. So really good numbers there. So there is Echo. He's 1. Need to aim, and you can have jetpacks. So that's another really great thing about Echo is he's also very maneuverable, and 75 points. So a little bit more efficient than the DC 15X sniper. All right, let's head over to the BX sniper unit. Now the thing about the BX that I think is really interesting is the BX is only 50 points, so it's cheap, but you can outfit him with the deflector shields to make him 68. Makes him a lot more survivable. Echo is pretty survivable with the 2 hit points. I guess we should actually add that in, that Echo actually has 2 HP. So that's a pretty big deal. If you get sniped back and only take 1 damage, he's going to be able to live through two attacks. They do on these guys put them with offensive push. I think there's an argument for actually doing Hunter as well. Again, you potentially are just trying to snipe into the commanders that have multiple hit points, where offensive push has to be recovered to use more than once. Let's go with Hunter and just assume they're going to have that aim token most of the time. The other drawback about the BXs is they need that order. Otherwise, they can't aim and shoot and give themselves potentially 2 aim tokens. So 2 aim tokens is a lot harder. And as I've played droids or seen droids played, giving your BXs an order is usually something that maybe happens at the beginning when you have your your ball of droids together and you can chain off to that one BX droid. But generally throughout the game, the BX droids, the snipers are far enough away that they can't be the end of the chain. So we'll look at them mostly with one aim token. But we got 56 points for them. They do have that sharpshooter 1. Their scales, so they're pretty maneuverable as well, but they also have a surge to hit. So that's nice for them as well. Let's get rid of... they do have sharpshooter 1, we had that. They do surge to hit, which is... the other units didn't have that. The sniper is a 2 red unit with lethal 1. So we'll give them that same 2 red. And with lethal 1, that means most of the time, again, with Hunter, you're probably going to have an aim token, or you get them an order and they can aim and shoot. So I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that they have 1 aim token, giving them Pierce 1. So let's go ahead and see how that comes out. So 80.8 damage with 69 points per shot, which is actually the best efficiency that we've seen so far. If they had a second aim, they might... wow, look at that. They actually match. If you can give them 2 aims, they actually match Echo, but are more for damage, but are more efficient. So that's really interesting. Getting them to Pierce 2 is not going to... actually makes it worse. All right. So their best is actually if you can get them 2 aims, get them an order, get them 2 aims, they have a really good chance of doing 1 damage, maybe a little bit, maybe occasionally 2. Well, they're almost never going to do 2. Rolling 2 crits is almost an impossibility. But doing 1 damage into even red saves with heavy cover. So 0.96 is going to be our number. And 58 points. Now, again, they are kind of interesting that you can add another 18 points to them and give them those 2 extra shield. If we add another 18 points to them by giving them the shields, now we're looking at 74 points. And with that aim and pierce with the 2, basically the 2 aim, now they've gone up to 76, so a little bit less efficient, more in line with what the with what Echo is, but actually more hit points, because now they've got the 2 droids each have 1 hit point, and the 2 shields give them kind of 2 more. So they're kind of an interesting unit. We'll put that into the notes that can be shielded for 18 points. But good maneuverability otherwise, and getting them 2 aims, which gives them their maximum efficiency, a little bit harder, but it is possible. Like we said, the most likely is probably going to be this scenario, going back to 56, which produces 0.81 and 70 points per hit. Still more efficient than anything else that we've seen so far. Let's see here. What do we get? We have 58, 70 instead of 58. So still a little bit more efficient than what we've seen so far. But 0.81 is a little bit less damage. Looking at the mischance, 20% mischance there. So 20% chance of doing nothing, 4 out of 5 chance if they just have one aim. All right, let's head over to our rebels now. So here we got 2 options. Cassian Andor, which I've outfitted with offensive push, duck and cover, recon intel, and his rifle that you can go in sniper config or pistol config. So he's got some good versatility. He also has loadout, which is really nice. 108 points on him, though. He's our most expensive one that we've seen so far. So let's do him, 108 points. And then for his damage profile, he's got a red and a black. He has cumbersome, so he's not as maneuverable as some of the other ones. He does have just Pierce 1 automatically, though. So red and a black. He has Pierce 1 automatically. For a sharpshooter, he doesn't have any sharpshooter, But because of his unlimited range, he has an easier chance maybe of shooting something that isn't in cover. Possibly. He does search to hit, as the BXs did. He has that Pierce 1, but he has Marksman. Marksman is interesting. He doesn't have lethal, but he has Pierce 1 built in, and he has Marksman. And between offensive push, or of course you could go with Hunter there, and just the aim and shoot, there's a really good chance that he's probably going to have an aim every turn that you're going to fire, and the aim is actually going to increase the damage that he does, or increase those hits, right, and push you up from a miss to a hit, and from a hit to a crit. Now, right now, the simulator doesn't handle Marksman, doesn't simulate Marksman. That's a feature yet to be added. So we'll just, we can't actually simulate that and give him his full full tactical loadout. When we can do this with an aim, so let's go ahead and try him with an aim. Red, heavy cover. He's doing 0.84 and 130. He's our most inefficient unit yet. But another way to simulate that Marksman is to basically say that he has Sharpshooter 2, reducing the number of block shots. You can spend that aim and either miss a hit, which could make a difference. You could give him Sharpshooter 1. Oh, I ran that without Sharpshooter. That's wrong. So we need to redo this because he doesn't have Sharpshooter. Just 0.3 against heavy. He doesn't have any Sharpshooter, so trying to get past cover is actually a pretty big deal for him. He can't get past that cover, so that's something that he's very survivable with his Danger Sense 3. Only white, search to defend. He has a lot of survivability and, of course, a lot of hit points. But because of that, he's not doing a lot of damage unless you're shooting at things that either aren't in cover. Let's go with light. Now we're going 0.8 or no cover, 1.5. But that Marksman kind of simulates Sharpshooter 1 with that aim token. So we can kind of simulate the same thing by getting rid of it. So that's probably what we're going to go with. I'm going to go with 0.6 and 173. Not really great. The least efficient marks. We're going to put in Marksman and multiple. Definitely our most survivable, maybe besides Versio, our most survivable sniper. All right, going to the Rebel Strike Team right here. There's 61 points. They do have Search to Hit, so we'll keep that on Search to Hit. Let's reset everything, make sure we get everything right. They're a black and a white, so far our worst dice that we've seen so far. They do have Pierce 1 though, so that's nice. Automatically Pierce 1 built in. We have the Search to Hit and Sharpshooter 1. So Pierce 1, Sharpshooter 1. They have the low profile, so that's nice. They can just sit in light cover instead of heavy. Although white Search to Defend, not as great. So that's our Rebel Commandos. I outfitted them with Hunter. Long Range Comm Link is what it recommended. Maybe that's, they do have the comm, not everybody has the comm, and then recon intel. Putting them at 61, you could make an argument for, well, we're going to kill those two things and bring them down to 54. So let's just do that. Let's bring them down to 54, give them their best option here. And they are going to have an aim token with them. We're assuming they're always aiming and shooting. They don't have lethal or anything like that to spend the aim tokens on. So we will give them an aim. Red, no surge, heavy cover. They come out to 0.58 and 93 points per hit. Not really much in the way of notes on those snipers. They're pretty straightforward as far as snipers go. So now we're going to head over to Empire, kind of the most interesting, most complex of these, just because of that darn Del Mico. You can actually put Del Mico into a Stormtrooper squad or a Snow Trooper squad, which technically can act as a sniper unit. It's very weird. With Snow Troopers, it's interesting. You can peek out, fire, and peek back and keep them completely out of line of sight. So that's probably the most interesting thing about Del. We're not going to outfit them that way. We're going to just put them inside of the Imperial Special Forces. We're going to look at Versio as well and the Scout Troopers. So let's start with Versio. We outfitted her fully out kitted out, including Aiden's Seeker Droid, which does give her 1 shield and 1 recharge. Recharge 1, so makes her even more survivable, probably the most survivable with the red saves. 6 hit points. She doesn't have that. She doesn't have all the tricks that Cassian has, but she can gain an aim and a dodge. So instead of aiming, she can aim and dodge. So really make herself survivable. And she also has marksman like Cassian Andor did. So 138 points for her. Let's just reset everything back to make sure that we get everything right. And she is, with that weapon, it is 2 black and has Pierce 1 built in. So 2 black, no white, Pierce 1 built in. She does not have sharpshooter, but she does have marksman. So we're going to kind of do what we did with Cassian. She also surges to hit. So instead of assuming that one of the aims, that the aim is going to go as an aim, we're going to assume that it's used to give her, we'll just like, maybe we'll run this ball. So let's give her an aim as a reroll. And that gives her 0.3. If we make her, give her sharpshooter 1, 0.5. So quite a bit better. 278 though. Now it's our new record for the least efficient unit. Not a great sniper unless you're shooting at things that aren't in cover as well. So 0.5 and 278 points each. Most survivable there. Obviously, that's why a lot of people recommend to give her outfitter with the regular gun and don't use her sniper rifle, because she just, even though she has a limited range, she just isn't really that great at getting past people's defenses. All right, so now that we've done her, let's look at Del Meeko and the Imperial Special Forces. This is kind of interesting to have a whole Imperial Special Forces just to be a sniper. It's a little bit expensive at 98 points, so let's do that. We'll reset everything again, make sure we get this all right. Imperial Special Forces has reliable 1, so they're going to have a surge token. They have marksman. They do surge to hit, so they'll give them surge to hit. 1 surge token. It doesn't really affect anything because they surge to hit anyway. So that's really more for defense, makes them more survivable. Del is 2 black dice with lethal 1. And which is kind of interesting because they have both marksman and lethal 1. So he's the one that's the hardest to simulate, because you could use the aim tokens to either increase the hit or to give him Pierce 1. So we'll kind of just try him in a couple of different ways. So we'll assume one that you're using the aim to give yourself the Pierce. And in that case, 0.25, 400 points are least. That's the least effective. What if we use the aim to do an aim? That's 0.17, even worse. Or if we use the aim as a sharpshooter, we get 0.25. So in none of these cases is Del actually really doing great. Maybe if you get him a lot of aim tokens so that he gets kind of the sharpshooter 1 and Pierce, you know, maybe you're getting something reasonable. Now we're getting reasonable 0.75. You can get him 3 aim tokens, 4, kind of like having a sharpshooter 2. 1.5. So now, you know, getting him 4 aim tokens, that's where Del gets pretty interesting. But other than that, 0.25 on 391 is kind of Del's profile. Really the worst sniper that you can have. But he does have the extra hit points. The whole unit has a lot of hit points. And they have a lot of versatility with both Del, Gideon, and the other unit that comes in, the 3rd unit in the Imperial Special Forces. All right, finally, let's look at the Scout Trooper Sniper team. So again, we're probably outfitting them with Hunter. Of course, it could be offensive push. Really up to you. They might have comms and gear. We won't opt out on that way. So 54 points for them. And we'll reset everything and make sure we don't get anything wrong. 54 points. They have surge to defend, but not surge to hit. Sharpshooter 1, so that's nice. Sharpshooter 1. This helps get past that cover. 2 black with Pierce 1. So we got that 2 black, Pierce 1. And then they probably, again, you're probably going to aim and shoot. They can't use the aim for anything else. So that's going to be really our profile there, coming up with 0.68 and 79 points per hit. So when it comes to efficiency, the best sniper in the game is the BX droids. They're the most efficient at 58 points per hit. Nobody else really even gets close to that kind of efficiency. When it comes to being able to put out the most damage, the winner, again, is the BX sniper droid. Again, the problem is you have to give them that order. So if you can always give your BX sniper droid an order, the nice thing about a BX sniper droid is you can probably do something to get them the order. There's a good chance of that. And you can choose to give them an order on the turns when it really matters, when you need to snipe something very important, and on the orders that the turns that you can't get them in order, then, or that you don't have something really important to snipe, then that's okay. You don't give them an order. Maybe you're moving them that round, or you're just trying to keep them surviving, trying to make them survive. Echo is also averaging 1 point, and at 75 points, he's a pretty close matchup to there. But when I look at just like the basic sniper units, the DC-15 versus the BX, the Rebel Strike Team, and the Scout Trooper, the DC-15 is actually the best at 0.78 points of damage with 82 points. The other ones are pretty close as far as efficiency, 79 and 93. But the DC-15X are actually a little bit more efficient. So there we go. There's our layout for the snipers in the game and which one is the best. This ended up being a pretty long video, a lot longer than I thought it would take to go through this, but really interesting to see these sorts of numbers and see which team actually has the best sniper unit. If I missed anything, let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe. And thanks for watching this video.